So what's up people and welcome to the chapter 80 discussion of Kaiju number 8 or Kaiju8号. So chapter 80 came out about 5 days ago, and as always I will leave a link to this chapter that's currently being shown on the publisher's official website, Manga Plus, for free to the North American audience. So if you're interested, I will go take a look at it before they pull this chapter back. So chapter 80, I really enjoyed chapter 80. And it really brings out the understanding of just how much care Matsumoto Naoya put into this story in setting up the situation that culminated in much of what we see in chapter 80. And as such, it really makes this story not only immersive, but quite emotional. And that's what I enjoyed about this particular chapter. Now, of course, if you first look at it, it's basically the continuation of the action and the battle that's going on between Kikoru Shinomiya and monster number 15. But the way this battle is being told really shows how well Matsumoto Naoya has brought this story to this point, based on all the things that he has been doing from almost the very beginning of the series. And even amongst all of the characters, including Kafka, Matsumoto Naoya has spent a lot of time in giving the readers the depth and understanding of the world around Kikoru Shinomiya. And because of that, it really makes us appreciate how much this story has evolved to this point. Now, if you recall, in the very beginning of the stories, we started understanding Kikoru Shinomiya as a very unique character. She is the prodigy of the JDF. And although in the beginning she felt like a character that was extremely egotistical, it turned out that that was not the case. She was actually quite caring of the people around her, including Kafka. And what we find out is the reason she has been so hardlined with regards to her training was because of the relationship that she had with her father. And in the beginning, we then consider the father to be very hard-ass, if you will, because he is extremely strict in bringing up Kikoru Shinomiya. And so we start thinking that this is a very dysfunctional relationship between the father and the daughter. But as we keep on going, we realize why Commander Shinomiya was that way. And that is because of the death of Kikoru's mother, Hikari. The family was an extremely close one, and of course both Hikari and Isao were very caring of their daughter Kikoru. And because they were both very powerful JDF soldiers, there was always that concern that something will happen to one or the other. And when fate takes Hikari away from both Isao and Kikoru, that of course changed Kikoru's father. And he became overly protective and understood that since Kikoru wanted to go follow the path of her mother, that he had to make sure that she had the capability to protect herself. And so he put aside the soft, warm feeling that he may have as a father and raised Kikoru in a manner that will make her very strong by being very strict in her upbringing. But as we continue on, we realize just how caring Isao was to his daughter. And when his life is taken away, it is at that time that Kikoru realizes just how much her father cared about her. And so this is a very well set up story, in the sense that this is a very close family that had a tremendous amount of care with each other. But the way fate moved their relationship, it left tremendous amounts of scars in Kikoru's emotion. And so with this battle going on, and the way Matsumoto Naoya was able to have Kikoru overcome the problem of the overwhelming power by monster number 15 was very well done, because it was done through an indirect relationship between Hikari and Kikoru. It was Hikari's image that was transferred to the monster number 4 battlesuit that gave Kikoru the ability to be able to learn from that image and overcome the powers of monster number 15. So it was really well done, and chapter 80 brings it in a really good way. The chapter begins with Kikoru finally coming to the levels that Hikari was, using Hikari's image And because of that, she is finally able to take on monster number 15 at an equal level. But what we find out is because Kikoru wants to come to at least the level of her mother and potentially overcome her capabilities because it is absolutely necessary in the situation that Japan is in right now, she does everything possible to catch up. And if this was only a story where we saw it from Kikoru's point of view, it would have been sentimental enough. But what we find is that it is viewed through the members of the JDF command, who were of course the colleagues of Hikari Shinomiya. And when they see Kikoru coming up to Hikari's level, it brings back the sentiment of their relationship they had with Kikoru's mother. And it was very heartwarming to see just how much support that the JDF headquarters had in cheering Kikoru on to be able to eventually catch up to her mom. And when it does, the joy that you see in the JDF command was absolutely wonderful to see. You could tell that this situation was very emotional for them as well because it almost felt like they were seeing Hikari once again. But it was also one other thing because they did not just sit back and enjoy the fact that Kikoru caught up. They were cheering her on to actually surpass Hikari's capabilities. And when she did, the joy that you saw in their faces because they knew that Hikari had passed the baton to her daughter was absolutely beautiful to see. And so, despite it being a very powerful battle that's going on between monster number 15 and Kikoru, the actual feeling that you get is one of heartwarming empathy regarding a mother's care towards her daughter. But of course, this battle doesn't end that easily, and similar to many other stories that you see, the fight suddenly transfers from being a physical one to a psychological one, as monster number 15 somehow gets into Kikoru's psyche and starts attacking her in the place where she is psychologically the weakest, which of course is her self-consciousness with regards to losing her parents. She has somewhat blamed herself for the loss of both Hikari and Isao. And to be able to somehow make amends for that, that is the reason why she has been working so hard. And so when monster number 15 starts asking Kikoru why she tries so hard during these battles, and Kikoru answers, it's to protect the people of Japan, monster number 15 of course knows that that's not the case, and she calls her out on that. And eventually, through the images that monster number 15 shows of Kikoru's relationship with her parents, Kikoru herself finally understands why she is trying so hard. She wants to get acceptance by her parents. And by working hard, she feels that somehow she may be able to become worthy of them. And that is, of course, the trigger to which monster number 15 can break Kikoru down, because she answers, no matter how much you try, and despite the fact that you may have caught up to your mother, they are no longer here to see that, and there is absolutely no way for them to be able to accept you. And the chapter ends in that manner, and it really creates a situation with regards to family. Of course, monster number 15 is hitting Kikoru at the very weakest point, the very sensitive point, but it comes back once again to what the family looks like on the surface, which of course in the beginning we thought was a somewhat dysfunctional family, to how they were tied in their love and their commitment, which you start understanding as you continue to read the story. So this isn't just a battle between a JDF warrior and a monster to determine the outcome of Japan, but this is a battle to reflect the closeness of a certain character in this story to her family. And what I hope is that if this becomes a psychological battle, similar to the physical one, if the battlesuit contains the spirit of Hikari Shinomiya, there is absolutely no reason why her love for her daughter should not also be remaining in the battlesuit. If her image was able to comprehend monster number 15's attack and respond to that, then you know that this isn't just a reflection, but an actual representation of Hikari Shinomiya's spirit. And if that is the case, then you would expect that Hikari's love may still remain. And if that is true, then I could see Matsumoto Naoya bringing back Hikari's character through the battlesuit and reassuring Kikoru that she is everything that their parents could ever wish for. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens, because we already know that through Hikari's support, Kikoru was able to attain the capabilities that she has always longed for. All she needs now is a spiritual acceptance of who she is. And I can only imagine Hikari to be able to do that for Kikoru. But we will have to wait until chapter 81 to see if that's really the case. And once it comes out, I'll bring out another video and hope you join me at that time. But this is the chapter 80 discussion of Kaiju Hachiko. If you read it, what'd you think about it? Did you feel the empathy that I did? And did you feel that this was a really nice way of bringing that very complex relationship that we have seen between the Shinomiyas to a point where we could see completion? Any comments that you can leave will be greatly appreciated. Until the next episode, happy manga reading, and as always, Jaya, nice day everyone.